A U.S. Marine jailed in Mexico for almost 3 months for making a wrong turn and having guns he could lawfully possess in the United States. Now, over the weekend, 2 Republican lawmakers going to the Mexican prison to visit Sergeant Andrew Tahmooressi. So how is the Marine doing, and what did the members of Congress find out about his case? Representative Matt Salmon and Ed Royce join us. Chairman Royce of the, House Foreign Relations Committee. This is your first visit to this Mexican prison to meet him. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I think he was in very good spirits. I shared with him that I'd met with Robert Buchanan, who served with him, another Marine from my area, who said he was one of the bravest and most dedicated Marines that he had served with. I think there's a tremendous amount of focus in this country now. I had talked to the Vice President last week about this case. I shared with him what I had communicated both to the ambassador and to the foreign secretary in Mexico. We are trying to get this case fast-tracked, and I think at this point, now that he has a new attorney, it'll come up soon, and I think he's got good legal grounds for all of us that have traveled that road and know that you're funneled into the border there and you cannot easily turn around. What did
Vice President Biden say? He knew about it? Did you say the President knew about it?
No, he did not, because unfortunately the President did not bring this up in his conversation with the President of Mexico. However, we continue to push on the government of Mexico.
But did the Vice President know about it?
Yes, he knew about the case.
Concerned about it?
He was concerned. Myself and, of course, my colleague, we brought this case up and then pushed him hard to get involved.
Congressman Salmon, this is your second trip down to that prison to see him. Difference between first and second? First, how much time between the 2 trips?
2 weeks.
And any difference?
I think he's in a little bit better spirits right now, but his attorney that he has right now is probably the best attorney that he could possibly have for this. And I think that things will be expedited. But back on what you were talking about, President Obama, over the last month, President Obama has gone to great pains to talk about the fact that as the President of the United States, under his requirements as Commander-in-Chief, he will leave no soldier behind. He's also gone to great pains to say that his responsibility is to look out for every American abroad. I'm challenging him and I'm asking him to do the right thing. You've done that for another soldier. This soldier, nobody has any questions about his commitment to this country. He's an American hero, and he needs to be out. And I'm asking the President to call the President of Mexico, and on humanitarian terms. This is a young man, an honorable man with post-traumatic stress disorder, and he needs to be out.
You know, Congressman, Chairman Royce said he wants it fast-tracked. That's what I've been saying all along, fast-track, because, you know, I understand the diplomatic pressures. We can't step all over some other country and tell them what to do.
They have their sovereignty issues as well.
I understand that. But what I don't understand is, I mean, anyone looking at this case, and we've driven it, now we've all driven it, is that, and the whole idea is to get it fast-tracked. And I don't think that's beyond the, I think the President of the United States can call Mexico and say, just look at the case.
Right.
Look at it. Fast-track it.
Well, as you can see, Greta, from the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee to many other members across the aisle as well, we've all tried to make the case as forcefully as we possibly can and as compassionately as we possibly can. The President, if he would actually take the time and invest some of his sweat equity to get this done, I believe it would put over the hump. Mr.
Chairman, did Vice President Biden say that there was any sort of, likelihood that they'd pick up the phone and make a call and say fast-track this?
No, but he did. He did indicate to Matt Salmon and myself that he understood our concern and they were aware of the case. Now, Matt and I had been working to try to get him moved from La Mesa prison to Tecate. As you know, La Mesa was a particularly
horrible.
And he did communicate. Andrew communicated to us that this was a much better spot for him to be in the Tecate facility. But at the same time, I think what's incumbent here upon the administration is to recognize that they too can be involved in communicating to the government of Mexico the importance of this. And as Matt has explained, I mean, we have an administration that traded 5, people who had been involved tangentially with Al-Qaeda and transferred them to Qatar, which, frankly, does not have a good track record in terms of cracking down on terrorism. We did that with respect to a service member. For this Marine who was wounded in combat, and as Robert Buchanan shared with me, as his comrade in arms told me, was one of the bravest Marines that he had served with. I think this administration should pick up the phone.
You know, I think if we had a Mexican Marine in our prison that was a miscarriage of justice, and they call up and said, "Would you please fast track?" I would hope we would do that because it's the right thing to do. But members of Congress, thank you for going down. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greta.